Welcome to Thought for the Day. Our readings are taken from 2 Kings chapter 11 and 12, Ezekiel chapter 2, and 2 Corinthians chapters 8 and 9. And our thought today is whether they hear or refuse. Who would be a prophet specially sent by God? We are now reading Ezekiel, and we find many similarities in his circumstances to that of Jeremiah. The word of the Lord is not welcome because it does not agree with what the people want to hear. Ezekiel is among the captives in exile, as we read in chapter 1, verses 1 to 3. And all the exiles want to hear is a message that they are soon going to be able to return to their homeland and the temple in Jerusalem. The end of chapter 1 is that Ezekiel had a vision, and I heard a voice speaking, we read. Our chapter today is about what the voice says, instructions for action. I send you to the people of Israel, to nations of rebels, and whether they hear or refuse to hear, they will know that a prophet has been among them. Verses 3 and verse 5. Ezekiel is further told, be not afraid of them, whether they hear or refuse. Verse 7. God repeats the instruction to Ezekiel for emphasis. And this reminds us of the words of Paul to the Corinthians. Necessity is laid upon me. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. For if I do this of my own will, I will have a reward. 1 Corinthians 9 verses 16 and 17. Is necessity laid upon us? Are we so focused on the kingdom to God and the house of prayer for all nations to be built in Jerusalem that we rarely or never speak of God's message of hope and expectation to others, whether they hear or refuse to hear? Let us do this of our own will. There is a human saying that there is no time like the present. But in today's reading, Paul puts it this way, after quoting God's words through Isaiah, that in a favourable time, in a day of salvation, I have helped you. Paul says, behold, now is the favourable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Check 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 2. Now is the favourable time for us to decide whether we are on the Lord's side and live sensing both the help and the responsibility that he provides. Thank you for joining us for Thought for the Day. Remember, today is the day of opportunity to preach the gospel. May God bless you in your walk towards his kingdom.
Thank you for joining us for another Thought for the Day. Join us again as we open the pages of the Bible together, remembering that God's Word is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.